Hello everybody. Let me know if you guys can hear me okay. Obviously if you're watching the replay you can't let me know in real time, but if you are listening in, let me know if you can hear me okay. I don't have my headphones in. I kind of wanted you guys to be able to hear the nature sounds. There's a lot of wonderful bird chirping happening right now, and I don't know if you can hear that when I wear my headphones, so I've got these in case you need me to put them in if you can't hear me very well. But I'm pretty close to my phone, so you know, as long as you can hear me. I do think, I don't know if I'm getting enough sun right here. Let's do it this way maybe. I don't know if that helps at all. But I've decided to start going live in the garden more because it's beautiful over here, and the captain has been working really hard on getting this garden up and running. So you can see all the plants behind me. Ellen says a little quiet, but not so much that we can't hear you. I wonder if I just scoot the camera towards me. Maybe that'll help a little bit. I hope you guys are having a wonderful Tuesday. Let me know if you're listening to the Crochet Business Summit videos today. I know some of you guys were probably working during the day, and so you may be just now starting to catch up, or you're going to watch them tonight. I'll admit, it was a lot harder today. I think I've always struggled with conferences and trying to take in so much information at once. I start to get very restless. I start to try to multitask, you know, like I'll have the videos playing, but then I'll be trying to check emails or do other things, and all of a sudden I realize an hour's gone by and I have no idea what the presentation was about. Proof that multitasking is usually not a good idea because we're not as good at it as we think we are. Most of us are pretty terrible at it. And so yeah, today was tough. Today was difficult for me to stay focused. I had to re-watch a couple of the presentations, which then it feels like a waste because you really do waste your time. You're trying to multitask and you end up having to go back and do the other task again. And so you take more time and you're less productive. So I should have taken more breaks, and I think that'll be feedback for me if Pam Grice, who runs the summit, if she does ask for feedback, I would love to see a break. Just like most conferences have like a lunch break, taking at least a full hour, because I think it's 6 classes a day and there's no break. It's lives 6 hours in a row. Like there's no time to go take a walk, take a break, eat some food. So I would love to see like an hour-long break in between the classes, 3 classes, take a break, 3 classes, something like that. Because yes, some of us are not going to watch them all at once, but if you did take time off work to watch them, or if you work from home and you were able to kind of take that full amount of time while the classes were live to watch them, it can be difficult because it pushed me back. You know, I took about an hour, missed an entire class, had to go back and watch it after it was over, which means I missed the live FAQ. You know, I can go back and watch them, but sometimes, you know, if I'd had a question about the speaker's class, then, you know, you don't get to get that question in during the live Q&A on Facebook. So, but I did take notes. The only class that I did not attend today was the last class about getting your projects on the runway. So that was one of the classes today. And the main reason I didn't attend that one was because I listened to that one last year. So I'm pretty sure, I think I did. I think it was the same speaker and it was the same information. Spinning Tales of WD, I agree. I missed a couple classes so I could get a couple chores done, so I'll have to get back and watch if I get a chance tonight. Yes. And I think Ellen said the same thing, that a break would be good. Yeah, a break would be nice. Okay, so I do have notes though. I have notes from all my classes. The first two, I think I did really well. The first one in particular, so I was, gung-ho, ready to go this morning. And focused. I had my coffee, I had my notes. I took a lot of notes in the first class. So the first class was all about giving back or paying it forward. And it was, and I'm sorry if I say her name wrong, but Tamara Kelly of Moogly, who has been a blogger for years now. She has tons of experience when it comes to being a full-time blogger, crocheter, all of that. So super excited to hear from her. Oh, and I have my iced coffee today. And this was really near and dear to me, this topic, because my husband and I do love the opportunity to give back, collaborate, and yeah, so I'll just get into these notes because all of this spoke to my heart. It made total sense to me, and there were a few takeaways for me. Oh, that's a big mosquito. I think I have bug spray on. We'll find out. If I start getting bit, I'll have to go put some bug spray on. Okay, so the first thing that she talked about is what paying it forward is not. And that's things like spending money, putting your own business needs last, paying back things that are already owed, or like returning a favor, a limited resource, or completely selfless. So a lot of times we do give back because we get something out of it. And I don't always mean monetary. Sometimes you just get that feeling, a good feeling out of it. There are things that we get out of giving back and paying things forward. And I loved her point of none of us got here on our own. Helping others on this journey helps us all. So I know for me, as I have seen growth through Instagram, there are a lot of people that I can thank for being where I am. People who gave me tidbits of information when I was willing to ask, about things that they had done to be more successful. When I had questions about writing crochet patterns, when I had questions about running a YouTube channel, there were always people willing to answer those questions. And I think that's a big deal because there are going to be people out there who want to stay completely hush-hush and they don't want to share. Maybe they think, I had to figure it all out on my own, so you can just figure it all out on your own. But I think for the majority of people, even if you had to work really hard to get where you were, if you really look, there are always going to be people who have been willing to lend a hand, who have been willing to give you advice. And so that really rung true for me. Paying it forward should always be a win-win. It shouldn't take away from your business. It should actually be good for your growth. So if you feel that you are giving and giving and giving and getting nothing in return, then you may be going a little overboard in ways that's putting your business on the back burner. So it is finding a balance, which I think is really important. Hello, Lopsided Crafter. And thank you so much for your feature. If you go check out the Lopsided Crafter on Instagram, she's got a new pattern roundup for spring patterns, and she featured a few of my patterns. So thank you. As we're talking about paying it forward and collaborating, when you pay it forward, you are creating opportunities for good things to happen. And it is things like featuring other designers on social media, or if you do, pattern roundups, or maybe you're just featuring things in your stories, like giving people shout outs, tagging them. All of those things are ways to give back and collaborate in a way that feels like it's giving back within the community, because it's building the community. When we do good, we feel good. This positive attitude comes through in your work, and it's noticed by others. People want to work with happy people. And I think that is important. I think it's easy to get really hyper-focused on your business, and that can lead quickly to burnout. You can get overwhelmed and you can get tired, and I think sometimes taking a break from this hyper-focus on business and working and focusing more on community and giving back and collaborating and things like that can really help you reignite the love that you have for your community and for your craft. And it's true, if you're doing things that make you happy, which usually giving back and collaborating with other people, I know it makes me happy, and it does. It comes out in your personality. It comes out if you are posting about your work, you know, if you're in a good mood, like it makes a difference. And especially in this world of social media, if you're in a good mood, it's going to show. It's going to come out in your work, and it's going to come out in your posts and in your videos and all of that stuff. So inspiring others, what goes around comes around. So a rising tide lifts all boats. These are all notes that I took from her PowerPoint. She had a very text-heavy PowerPoint, so if you guys want to go and watch, I wrote down a lot of the things that were on the PowerPoint because it was very inspiring. Paying it forward creates a culture of working together, cooperation and support, and it can benefit the entire industry. And I think that's where, for me, community, the word community is just so strong. It's going to be throughout all of this, because I feel like the stronger we allow our communities to be, it impacts the entire industry, because these communities are supportive and collaborative and continue to grow, and we're all working together to help each other grow their businesses. And this is why I love collaboration. That's what I wrote down in my notes. And by this, my little notebook. So all of my notes are handwritten. Shout out if you write down handwritten notes still. I have to say my hand was hurting today after writing all these notes, because I haven't written this much since like college. Well, probably since the last Crochet Business Summit, and then before that, college. Okay, so another good thing about giving back and paying it forward is networking. Creates opportunities for you to grow your personal community and your business community, because you're opening up doors and you're giving yourself a reason to reach out to people, and it can start conversations that lead to different and more opportunities. Credibility. When you are actively paying it forward and doing good, it shows that you know your business, you know your industry, and you are accountable, and you can be trusted, and it can allow you to become an expert in your field as viewed by other people. So when people come to your blog and they see all of this information that you're putting out there and introducing them to new designers who are also, you know, great designers that know what they're doing. So even one, and I feel like I'm rambling, but one of the things that she mentioned was, you aren't going to be an expert in everything, but there are other people in your community who are. So for me, my patterns are all super beginner friendly, very simple stitches, and super bulky yarn. So that's where I consider myself a go-to and an expert on those specific things when it comes to crochet patterns. But there are a lot of people out there who do things, very different things like mosaic crochet or lace work or very intricate stitches. And so what I'm able to do is feature their work, showcase them as experts, and people know that when they come to me, even though I'm not an expert in it, I know how to point them in the direction to people who are. So it grows your credibility as a designer and as a creator or a maker, even in areas that you might not particularly be an expert. So that's where paying it forward and collaborating can really help your business. Okay, how else can it help? And these are all the ways that paying it forward can affect your business in a positive way. Respect. So paying it forward earns others' trust and respect. Trust means that people are going to be willing to confide in you and share insights, ideas, and opportunities. And I think it's true. I think when I look at other designers or other makers or other people that I follow on social media, I know that for me to see that they work with other people, that they collaborate, that they really focus on community, for me, those are the people that I want to be following. So I think it's important to show that if you're, you know, if you're working within your community in that way. Creativity. So if you're looking for new ways to help, when you do, you'll find new opportunities. I can't even read my own writing right here. You will find new opportunities everywhere you look, and it will help grow your creativity. So I think that's, maybe you've hit a rut in your business and you're feeling kind of a lack of inspiration and a lack of creativity. Come over here. My dog is just sitting next to my other dog and all up in her business. Sit down. We're going to stay over here for a minute. So if you're looking for ways to help other people, then that may actually spark new creativity and new inspiration, because you're not so hyper-focused on, I need to be creative, let me find something new to do. If you're looking for a way to, instead, you're looking for, how can I help someone else? How can I collaborate? How can I do something new with someone else, or help out in some way? You may find a spark of inspiration that you wouldn't get if you were just trying to force creativity upon yourself and your business, if that makes sense. And the same thing with inspiration. So inspiration and creativity, if you're actively trying to pay it forward and give back to the community, it may create new opportunities for enhanced creativity and new areas of inspiration. So direction. You don't have to know it all. Observing and sharing others' work allows you to concentrate your own efforts on what you do best and can help you find focus. So this was important. And I think I've found this as well as I've been trying to find my niche, which I feel like I've found it now, but on that journey of trying to find my niche, seeing what other people were doing and even sharing what other people were doing was a really cool way for me to say, okay, I don't want to do color work. I don't want, oh, that would be the dog. I don't want to do mosaic crochet. I really want to stick with what I love, which is very simple patterns. But I really love sharing other people's work who are doing this really well. And it made me see there's room for all of us, because if I'm not trying to do everything, if I'm just hyper focusing on what I want to do, it gives me more space to share what other people are doing, because, you know, we're all different, and we all, you know, like I said, if I'm making simple stuff, or if I'm making chunky items, I can do a blog post with all these different crochet cardigans, because I can share a few of mine that are chunky, but then I can share a whole bunch of other cardigans that maybe are a little more intricate, or use much lighter weight yarn, or are just different in so many different ways. And it just feels so good to be able to do that. And it reminds me, okay, I can just focus on what I want to do and still be able to share all of these other people's things. And Stripes and Stitches, thank you so much. I got my first badge. Did you know this is my first badge ever? I've never gotten an Instagram badge. I just got invited to turn on badges. So thank you so much. I appreciate it. Okay, so now we're getting to the last part of, and he just brought me his sand-covered baby. This is his little reindeer. Let me throw it. Okay, so I'm going to try to throw it and not get sand all over me. You got to sit down first. I know you can't really see him. He's on this side of the screen, but we're going to throw it. Ooh. Okay, go get it. Oh, that's sand everywhere. Okay. Okay, so this gets to how to pay it forward. So we talked about all the reasons why paying it forward is good, which is respect, creativity, inspiration, direction, credibility, networking, inspiring others, feeling good, all those things. So ways to pay it forward. The simplest thing is social media sharing. And I completely agree with that. I think if you follow people that you enjoy following, take a little bit of time out of your schedule, you know, so if you are scheduled to post on Instagram or do something like that, take a little bit of time to scroll through your feed, your home feed, and see what other designers and people are doing that are in your community. So like maybe someone that you follow is having a pattern sale. So today I shared the Wool Flower Co. is having a pattern sale to celebrate 13,000 followers. Woohoo! And so I shared that in my stories, and I said, go check out her pattern sale. Maybe someone in your feed just released a new pattern. Maybe they're having a sale. Maybe they created a new pattern. Maybe they're doing a call for testers. And just sharing those in your stories and say, hey, go check this person out. Or like, hey, go see how so-and-so is rocking her new top that she just finished testing for this designer. Doesn't she look amazing? You know, so it's things like that. Giving people those shout outs, because it takes time. That is giving back. That is paying it forward, because you're taking time out of your day to go through and share something for someone else, to your stories or to your feed or something like that. Make sure that you ask permission if you, let's say you want to share someone's video or photo to your Instagram feed as maybe inspiration, or even if you just want to shout them out. But if this is someone that you don't regularly have conversations with, maybe it's someone you follow, but you have never actually, you know, had a conversation with them via Messenger or anything, you may want to try to ask permission first. Stories is different because you're actually posting their post, so people can click directly to that. But if you like download their picture and you're trying to post that to your feed, that can get a little tricky. So make sure that you're asking permission to share things, especially like if you are posting their stuff to your blog. Make sure that you're linking to their pattern. So like when I do pattern roundups, everything that I have links out to their Etsy shop, links out to their patterns, in some cases links to their social media. So you want to make sure you're giving all of the credits to that designer, to that person. Let's see, make sure you're tagging people. So this is another way. Let's say you buy something from an Etsy shop or a small maker. Maybe you purchase a new pattern, or you're working on a new pattern. Tag the designer. It's a fantastic way for you to grow your community, especially if you haven't ever really had a conversation with that designer before. If you've just discovered them, that's a great way to open that door to potential collaborations or opportunities in the future, and you can make a friend. Let's see, by sharing even just on social media, it helps you to become a resource for other people. So they know that if they come to your website, they're not just going to see your work, they're going to potentially discover new designers, discover new techniques. So it allows you to become a resource for more than just what you are putting out into the world. Another thing that Tamara mentioned was link parties. I'm not going to go into it a lot. I don't think it's something that I would do on my blog, but she goes into it very heavily in her presentation. Really, you would create a blog post, and this is directly from her presentation, where people or designers can add their links to the blog post to then be featured in future posts, and she just called them link parties. So something to look into if you have a blog and you're looking for new ideas for your blog. If you don't have a direction for your blog, that may be something that you might enjoy looking into. So be sure to watch her presentation to find out more about that. She also talked about doing blog features or guest posts on your blog. I have only done a guest post, I think, once, and that was with was it Calm Handmade? I always get it wrong. It's either Calmly Handmade, Calm Handmade. Maybe it's not. I don't think it's Calmly Crocheted. I think that's a totally different person who also follows me. Hello, if you're here. But I've had one person do a guest post, and that was actually really fun. I would totally do that again. And the reason that I asked them was because they did a blog post that was super cool, and it was kind of one of those blog posts that had like 5 key points, you know, so it's something you'd kind of want to bookmark because it was interesting information. And I was like, have you ever thought about writing a blog about this? And she's like, well, I don't have a blog, so I didn't really think about it. And so I was like, well, do you want to write a blog post for my blog and be a guest blogger? So that's something I would totally look into doing again. So if you are interested, if you're watching this and you want to start, maybe you like Calm Handmade. Thank you. Yes, Ellen. It's Calm Handmade. So she wrote a blog post for me a while back. But if you guys are interested in, you know, dipping your toe in and writing a blog post about something, then let me know, because I would love to have another guest blog post. I think those are super cool, and it lets people kind of practice writing blogs, and they can see if they enjoy it at all. I don't know if Calm Handmade, if she has a blog now, but it was really fun getting to work with her. So let's see, and guest posts. So if you heard of like Instagram takeovers, you know, if you wanted to collaborate in that way, that might be something cool where you give someone the opportunity to post for you on your social media. It's not something I've really thought about, but I did that with my last job. Throw the reindeer again. He can't stand that I'm on here. It's like making him nervous that I'm not giving him the attention. Okay, so let's see. Another bonus about guest posts, if it's like, if someone has a blog and they write a guest post for your blog, and you're having links from, that is such a loud frog, links from your blog to their blog, these are called backlinks, and it's really good for SEO. You can go into that some more. I feel like if I try to talk about that, I'm just going to sound like an idiot. But I know it's a good thing if you have links from your website on someone else's website, like if they mention yours and then you mention theirs, and yeah, it's a good thing. Actually, one example of that, there was a big blog where it was a blog post of like resources, and I remember that I went into the comments and I said, I actually have additional resources about this, and I linked to my blog post. And that one comment got so much traffic to that particular blog post of mine that had additional resources. So that's where, like, if you follow someone's blog and you're active there and you have something that would make sense for you to like link back to your blog, that might get more traffic to your site. Okay, blog hops was another thing that she mentioned. I'm gonna have to move through. I took the most notes on this first one. Like I said, I had a lot of coffee and I was feeling good, so I was taking lots of notes. Blog hops are another way to pay it forward. You spread the love, you get people to your blog, but you also get people to other people's blogs. I talked a lot about this in yesterday's recap because there was a whole class on blog hops, so you can check that out if you want to. It's here on Instagram and over on YouTube. It promotes collaboration, networking, and respect, being part of a group, and then hosting blog hops helps build your reputation as an expert in blog hops. So that's good. I think we have a question in the question box too. Let me see. No, I thought we did. Okay. Volunteering. So this is one of the ways that you can pay it forward. And this is probably the most often thought of giving back, paying it forward opportunity. And that is crocheting for a cause. That is not how she put it. That's how I put it. There are a lot of organizations out there who need crocheters to make things for them, whether that's hats and blankets for the homeless, whether that's baby blankets, prayer shawls. I mean, there are tons of opportunities out there where you could actually crochet things for organizations who need it. Another thing that you can get involved locally or nationally by joining the Crochet Guild of America. This is the second or third time I've heard this mentioned. I need to go check it out because I am definitely not a member. You could teach classes locally, volunteer to teach classes if you have anywhere locally where you could do that, or you could do something online. You could teach classes online and give back that way. The last thing that she mentioned was mentoring, and that was within the volunteer area. So she shared the quote, "You can't pull yourself up by your own bootstraps." Everyone brings something valuable to the table from their own life experiences and a new way of looking at things. And mentoring can be as simple as being willing to answer messages on social media, answering messages and answering comments and actually helping people when they have a question, to being more formal of having like a mentor/mentee relationship with someone who is new. Maybe they're just starting out and trying to build their business. If you're willing to kind of take them under your wing and give them advice and help them out on a more regularly scheduled basis. Maybe you say, let's have a Zoom chat every month to check in and see how you're doing, and see if you need any additional help. That would be more of a formal mentoring relationship. And she made it clear you don't have to share everything. She's not saying, you know, if someone sends you a message on Instagram that you've never interacted before asking for all of your secrets to success, you don't have to share that. But if they send you a message and say, hey, what platform did you use to make your blog? Or what platform did you use to make your website? Or do you have any tips? I'm just now about to start a YouTube channel. You know, so being willing to take a little bit of time out and try to help is something that I know I've always tried to do. It's not always 100% possible for me to answer all the messages to the fullest extent, but that's why I started offering business mentoring sessions. So if someone really does want my help and my advice on starting a business, marketing their business, all of that, then, you know, they can actually set up a one-on-one time to meet with me. Now, these are paid sessions, but that's because I take the time out and I say, what are your specific needs and your specific questions? And I prepare for it and I research it and I look at their social media and I look at their store and I give very specific advice of, like, if I were in your situation, here's what I would do next, you know? And so putting all of that together was something that I did to say, this is now how I can really create a more formal mentor opportunity for more people. Okay, so the next class was all about YouTube. And like I said, that first one, I had so many notes. I feel like I need to go through these a little bit quicker because you guys can watch these videos. You can still, hello Daisy the Sheep Hats, thanks for joining. You can still watch these videos. So if any of this sounds good and you want to watch these and actually hear it from the experts themselves, you can get a free ticket to the Crochet Business Summit still. The link is in my bio, and you can actually watch all of these classes until tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Mountain Time. These mosquitoes really are like mutant here. So yes, you can still do that. You can watch all of these if they sound interesting. So the next session was from Tula Carolla. If anyone's on here and knows her tag, I'm not sure. I know her YouTube channel is huge. That's why she was talking about YouTube specifically, but I'm not sure what her Instagram is. So she was talking all about growing your YouTube channel, utilizing the algorithm. Hey, just got my first Pink Sheep wearables. Love them. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I had to rep one of my crew neck sweatshirts. This was one of the original ones, the Candy Hearts abbreviations, called Love Language. I'm so glad you like them. Thank you. Okay, so I really wanted to join in on this one because my YouTube channel is still not even monetizable. It can't be monetized yet because I don't have the watch hours. So I wanted to watch this one to see if I could get some good advice on how to grow my YouTube channel. Hey, come on. My dog is being a jerk right now. Sit down. Come here. Sit down. I'm gonna have to put you inside if you can't behave. Okay, so the very first piece of advice was making sure that you know what your audience likes and make sure that you're doing more of that on your YouTube channel. You need to figure out what your audience is searching for. You know, and it also comes down to niching down. You know, you want to make sure that the things that you're sharing on your YouTube channel are relevant and are things that people actually want to be searching for. And I struggle with this, so this is not me giving advice. This is me sharing the advice of this person because I still am learning. Tula Maria on Instagram. Thank you so much, Ellen. Yes. So these were the 3 ways she said to make the YouTube algorithm work for you. The first one is to really pay attention to watch time and view percentage, which I had not looked at either. So going through your videos that you've already posted, looking at the analytics, which I just kind of ignored because I feel like it was just going to get me down. But going through the analytics of each video and seeing which ones had better watch time and view percentage. And that really is how long people stay on your video. So for instance, after this presentation was over, I went to my YouTube channel and I looked at one of my newer videos and I realized that the video was like 40 minutes long and the average view time for people was 8 minutes. That's not very good. So I really have to go through and find out, okay, which videos were doing better, and I need to make more of those types of videos. And I think it's going to be a balance, because if the videos that people really like watching are videos that I hated making, then that's not a win-win situation. So I think it's going to be finding a balance of maybe that middle of the road, continuing to make videos that I really enjoy making, and then, you know, maybe make a few that are more like ones that, and I'm not saying that my good videos are all ones I didn't want to make, but if that's the case, you know, I'm going to have to find a balance there. So I've got to look more at my analytics for sure. And then there's another analytics to look at, which is the click-through rate. So this shows how many people saw your thumbnail and clicked on your video. So that will really help you know if you need to kind of update your thumbnails, because that is another extremely, she talks about that too, is making sure that you have a good thumbnail. So I had look at my video analytics. She said, do not start with an intro or a long-winded welcome. Your intro should only be like 2 to 3 seconds, because that will cause people to, I guess, they want to leave, which makes me sad, because I like doing my intros. I realize, especially with my lives, I'm like, let's look at my, you know, current projects before I jump into my topic, you know. So I realized I probably need to stay a little more focused. And she said 2 to 3 seconds for an intro is all you need. She did say a great thing that you can do if you're not doing live videos, if you're pre-filming them, you could film a short intro that you use for multiple videos. So you could just do something that's, you know, who you are, welcome to your channel, let's hop into this tutorial, you know. But you could film a couple of those, maybe wearing different outfits, and you can use the same intro for all of the videos, and that will save you some time. Have a clear goal for your video at the very beginning. So make sure at the very, very beginning of the video, people know exactly what they're about to get and what they should know at the end of the video. Cut off anything unnecessary. Don't add irrelevant information. I'm really bad about that. I'm a chatty Cathy. Obviously right now, I don't know how long this live has been going, but it's been a while, because I go off on tangents. So I know for me, being successful as a YouTuber who gets straight to the point is going to be a difficult thing for me. But this is good advice. Let's see, don't ask random people to watch your video. I thought this was interesting. So don't go sharing your new YouTube video with like friends and family on Facebook who are not part of the crochet community, because most likely they're going to go to your YouTube video, they're not going to watch the whole thing, and it's going to be bad for your analytics, which is going to tell YouTube this is not a video that they're going to want to feed to other people. So maintain the urge to share your new video with people who probably aren't going to be interested enough to watch the entire thing. Instead, share it on your social media channels, share it in the crochet groups where you're allowed to do so. Those are going to be the places where you'll get people who might actually want to watch the entire video. Or your email list. If you've got an email list, you can send it out to them. That's so funny. I was thinking in my head, I need to send this out and put it on Facebook and say, don't click on this unless you're willing to commit to watching the entire video. Ellen said, chatty Cathy is what makes you you, the info you share. And so I think that's where you have to find balance. This was great information, and I'm sure that it probably will help my YouTube grow in some ways, but there's no way I could implement everything specifically, because it's true. I have to find balance. I have to be able to be me, and me is definitely chatty Cathy. Okay, so what else? Your videos don't have to be super professional. They just need to be easy to watch. So that's things like clarity of your voice, making sure that people can hear you, adding text if you have to make it easier to watch. Make sure that closed captioning is available. Make sure that the video isn't shaky or blurry. But most of these people, even people with lots of followers on YouTube, still use their phone. So it doesn't have to be super professional. It just needs to be easy to watch, easy to digest, and clear. Clear sound and Another thing that she said was to make sure you film from above. So this can be crazy. There are quite a few opinions on different ways to film from above with different types of tripods. Alicia Manning says minimal movement is a big one for me. Yeah, and I'm bad about that with my lives. I feel like when I'm doing, especially my live crochet alongs, I'll usually be talking, but then I have to flip the camera around, and I'm still getting the hang of that. So I think that'll get easier for me with time. But I actually upgraded to a, it was a monitor arm, so like a computer monitor arm. And that has allowed me to film directly from above. But there's a lot of new apparatuses out on the market now, especially if you're using your phone, that more easily allow you to flip the camera around and actually have it over your work. So it's really just finding the right thing for you. But yeah, filming from above was a big thing for her. Alicia said that if I get motion sickness from your video, it's a big turnoff. Definitely, yes. And I get motion sickness very easily, so. Edit out ums and ahs and mistakes. So I've started doing this a little bit more. I don't like to edit out all of my mistakes because I feel like it's kind of relatable, you know, when you have a few mistakes in your video. But I know, for instance, when I filmed my presentation for the Crochet Business Summit, that's actually going to go tomorrow. So I'm going to be speaking tomorrow at noon Central Time, maybe. I need to double check the schedule. But yeah, so I'm going to be speaking tomorrow, and the presentation could only be like 25 minutes. And I went over by like 5 minutes. And I got those 5 minutes back just by editing out my ums and uhs. And yeah, it was pretty bad. So it just goes to show, I know I've gotten a lot better than I used to be. But I still say, like I just did, I still say and a lot. So I'm still getting better at that. But you can edit some of that out. If you feel like it's a little distracting, then you can edit that out in post-processing. I currently use iMovie. I think that the speaker used Premiere Rush, maybe. So there are a lot of options out there. Keep it interesting was another piece of advice she said. Add close-ups, add text explaining things. If you're referring to something, show it on the video. And then she also said to show yourself occasionally. Make a single intro. That's what I said. Make a single intro to use on multiple videos. And then with video titles was the other big piece of this. Titles should be exactly what the video is. So try to think, what would people be searching for to find my video? It's a lot like Etsy listings. So when I list things on Etsy, let's say I'm listing my pattern for the Power Puff jacket. I'm not going to just say Power Puff jacket crochet pattern. I'm going to say super bulky, oversized, chunky cardigan jacket pattern. Like, I'm going to use all of the keywords that I think people would actually search for. So think about that when you're creating your YouTube titles. I need to do better at that. I could definitely get better SEO results from some of my YouTube titles, but I have struggled sometimes to come up with titles. Let's see. The first words are most important. So the first couple of words of your title are most important. And then she said that there are some tools that can help you. One of them is called TubeBuddy. And she said there is a free version of that where you can actually input your title and see how it kind of ranks. And then talking about thumbnails. Thumbnails make people click or pass. So you should clearly be able to understand when you're scrolling through the thumbnails on your phone what the video is going to contain. I feel like I do okay with my thumbnails. There are some that I could probably work on, but I feel like they're recognizable. I use clear, bold text. I try not to make the text on the thumbnail too wordy. I try to keep it short. I'll show my face on the thumbnail. So, you know, I think my thumbnail game is pretty good, but I could definitely up my title game. YouTube is unpredictable. Even small accounts can have videos that do really well. That was something that meant a lot. So getting that advice from someone who has, you know, what, over 100,000, you know, subscribers on YouTube, and I have just over 1,000. So there is hope. Maybe one day I'll get monetized. That's the goal. She also gave a 25 tip cheat sheet. So if you want her 25 tips on growing your YouTube channel, you have to go watch the actual presentation. It's available until tomorrow night to watch for free. You just have to use the link in my bio to get the ticket so you can watch the video. And then I have written down videos should be as long as they need to be and no longer, because someone was asking, you know, how long should these videos be? Is there a good specific time length for videos? And she said they should be as long as they need to be, but no longer than that. So that goes back to not including information that's not necessary to that video. Okay, we got a couple more of these to go through. 3 more classes. Pam Grice did her keynote class live on YouTube today, and it was 3 things to stop doing that are wasting your time. I don't think that's the name of it, but that was what I wrote down. And the main 3 things that she was saying to stop doing because it is wasting your time, and there are 3 things you can do instead. The first one is being a perfectionist. So perfectionism is the refusal to take actions that may make us look human. So we're so worried that what we are putting out into the world isn't perfect that we don't do anything at all. And I've seen that even when I was working early in my career. I worked in the fitness and wellness industry, and there were people who wouldn't go to the gym if they knew they weren't going to have enough time to actually stay there for like an hour and work up a crazy sweat. They felt like it wasn't worth it. I was like, anything is worth it. Just doing something is better than deciding I'm just not going to do anything at all. And so I've seen that across the board everywhere, and it's so true. If we're so focused on being perfect, we're never going to do anything because we're not going to be perfect. Nobody's perfect, and we know that. So the fear of criticism, ultimate perfectionism for a business is not taking action. And perfectionism is linked to fear and procrastination. So that's the first thing that we need to cut out, stop doing if we're trying to run a successful business. The second thing is comparison. Comparison will steal the joy that you have for your business. It'll keep you demotivated, and it will cost you money. So you need to recognize that you're doing it. When you are taking that time out of your life to compare yourself to someone else, it's recognizing it so that you can do something about it and take action. You need to allow yourself to practice and learn and grow. So if you see another account that's doing something better than you do it because you just started out or you're still learning, you have to stop comparing and allow yourself the space to learn and grow and be better to get to that point that you're trying to get to. And that's going to take time. It's not going to be immediate. And you don't know how long that other person has been doing it. So you can't compare your journey with someone else's because you don't know where they are on that journey. You know, you might be on step 1 and they might be on step 283. You know, so if you compare it, it's completely unfair. Okay, so the third thing is, oh, and another thing, if you find that you are using someone on Instagram to beat yourself up and compare, like if you're always going to their page to make yourself feel bad, then you should stop following them for a little while and get your shit together. That was straight from Pam. She didn't say shit. But she said, stop following them. If there are certain accounts that you follow and every time you go to their page you feel bad about yourself, then you should unfollow them for a while. And you can come back later, you know, but you need to get things together before you continue to follow them, because there's no reason, if you know it's happening, to continue allowing it to happen. So the third thing to stop doing is stop denying your worth. So underpricing yourself, playing your business down, minimizing your skills, projecting. So just because you don't feel good enough, you think others aren't gonna think that you're good enough. That's not true either. And the 3 things that you should be doing instead of those 3 things, so instead of perfectionism and comparing yourself and denying your worth, the 3 things that you should be focused on is, even if you're scared, doing it anyway. So instead of focusing on perfectionism, focus on doing things anyway, even if you're scared, if you're unsure, if you're new, like you should be doing it anyway, because you value what you do and you value your vision for the life that you want. That is directly from Pam, and that's a big deal. It is, because you have to have value in what you want. You have to have value in your vision and the things that you want out of life. And if you don't, it's going to be really difficult for you to move forward and believe in yourself. So, instead of comparing yourself with others, you need to focus on affirming your own value, your own talent, your own worth, and your own awesomeness. And she called it owning your awesome. Are your dreams worth making a change? I think so. And it's that idea, like you can't allow yourself to stay stuck in the mindset of I don't have a choice, because you do. It doesn't mean it's going to be easy by any means, but you always have a choice. And my husband has always reminded me that. Always. You always have a choice. Okay, and then the last one, and this was the one I had to watch this twice because I got distracted, so my notes were all over the place. But the third one, instead of denying your worth, where did that go? Her thing here was implementing a good pricing structure. So that's one of the first building block pieces that you can do to start valuing your worth more, is developing a pricing model that's actually profitable. So that's a very solid action step that you can take if you're kind of in that rut of feeling like you're not taking your own self or your own work seriously, is work on your pricing to make sure that you're profitable. And that's going to give you that immediate feeling of, you know, I'm taking my business seriously. This is what I'm worth. This is what my time is worth. So yes, that was Pam Grice's presentation today, and it was fantastic. She is much better at giving that advice than I am. So if you need like a motivational kick in the pants, go watch that presentation because it was absolutely fantastic. Okay, so the next one that I watched was all about in-person relationships, the importance of in-person relationships for an online business owner, someone like us. And I think that was the last one. No, there's one more after that. So I'll try to get through this one pretty quick. It goes back to things that I talk about all of the time too. And it's just the importance of community, the importance of having those real solid relationships with people, because when you lack community and you lack good relationships, it does a number for your mental health. And that was one thing that she said. It's been proven that good relationships allow you to live longer. It allows you to more easily and effectively handle the stress in your life. It helps you feel understood. It can increase your overall confidence, and it can help you think more clearly and solve problems more easily. That's all of the things that can come from having good, strong relationships in your life. Without good your relationships, needs of your life can go unmet. And these are your basic needs, your basic needs as a human. And we don't function like we should when we don't have good, strong, solid relationships. So what can get in the way of relationships? You guys all know the answers to these questions. Wearing a million hats. If you are a mom and a business owner and someone who also works a full-time job, or you're a caregiver, or any of the things that you have to do in your life can get in the way of you maintaining strong relationships. I mean, even just trying to have a best friend, trying to give enough time to a best friend so that that relationship maintains itself can be very difficult and can be time consuming. Other things that can get in the way: ever-growing to-do lists, lack of planned time off, unwillingness to ask for help, spending too much time online. There are tons of things that can get in the way of us maintaining relationships. And I'm sorry if I look distracted. I'm trying to keep my dog from being an asshole to my other dog. Come sit down. It's all because I'm on here. I should have done this inside, but that's okay. It's nice out here. Okay, so what are some ways that you can connect even when things are crazy? And this really goes with, she separated it out into ways that you can connect with family, friends, and creative entrepreneurs and other business people. And a lot of them are similar, so I'm just going to kind of go through them all jumbled up and just give you that feedback from me. The first thing that you can do to connect is make sure that you're sharing your excitement about your business and why you're excited, so that people kind of understand. You know, I think sometimes, especially if we're working a full-time job and we're doing our business on the side, creative business on the side, some people can maybe not fully understand why we're taking so much time out of our life to build a creative business. And they may feel like we should be able to just push that to the side to spend time with them or to spend time with family. But being willing to talk about why we spend the time on that side of the business can help them understand, you know, and maybe be more supportive of what you're doing, especially if you're trying to build a creative business that you want one day to be your full-time job. The other thing is to schedule time with friends and family. So just like you have to schedule things for work and schedule meetings, you should be scheduling time with your family and with your friends. And that's going to make sure that you set aside that time to spend time with them. And it is important. It is something you have to do. We do that now. Any kind of family gathering, we actually have a calendar on our fridge that has all of the different things. It has work things and it has personal things, but it makes sure that we don't double book and not have time to spend with family because we've got something going on with the business, and vice versa. Let's see, work on expressing your needs. She also says create a schedule and follow it, which for me, that was along the lines of scheduling time. Hiring help if you can. I've heard that in a couple of different presentations. If you get overwhelmed, if there's any way, even if it's just asking for help from friends and family, you know, if you really do need help, you have to be willing to ask for it, which I think is difficult for a lot of us, especially when we're doers and we want to do everything and not have to ask for help. But it can become mentally exhausting, and then you really can't be there for other people because you're not mentally in a place where you're able to do that. Let's see, and that's back to expressing your needs. So if there's something that you need, if something that you need help with, learning to ask for help. You know, COVID changed things for a lot of us. We made a lot of online connections with people. You know, we may have made friends with people from all over the world that are not local for us to meet up with. So one of her pieces of advice was to exchange information with online friends, see if anybody is local, and set up regular times to have like Zoom meetings or crochet and chat calls, or, you know, even meet up in person or meet up in an event. So if there's an event that is in driving distance from the both of you, you could schedule it out in advance and go to an event and meet some of your friends that you've made online. Another thing you can do is look for local craft groups or meetups to build your local community. And then when she was talking about creative entrepreneurs, searching for Facebook groups that have meetups. So there's a lot of Facebook groups that will actually plan meetups. You can search, there's a million Facebook groups. There's probably a billion. I don't know how many. Ellen says online game nights. Yes, we have an online game night. So, you know, finding something fun that you can do with your online friends, I think, is important. Search for events based on your niche. So look for like fiber festivals. That's a big goal for me. I would love to start going to fiber festivals in the future. And you can plan things out ahead of time. If it's a solid event that happens a lot. Hey, come on. Come on. Come on. Come here. Get. Come here. Hey. Hey. Stop. Zeus, come here. My dogs are just getting rowdy. Sit down. Stop. Sit down. You can hear them both breathing right now, I'm sure. I'm knocking the camera around. Zeus, come here. Sit. Sit down. Sit down. I'm going to make him sit with me for a minute because they're getting rowdy. Okay. What else do we have? Searching for events. What I said, I want to go to fiber festivals. If you guys have ever been to one, let me know. So that would be cool. I want to hear about your favorite fiber festivals. Or even the only ones you've gone to. If you don't have a favorite, you just have one maybe that's local. Find a local crochet guild chapter. I think I mentioned that earlier. Schedule time to meet for accountability, brainstorming, and problem solving. So this is really if you are trying to run a crochet business and you want some business friends, like maybe have a business Zoom call every month where you check in and you bounce ideas off of each other. You talk about new product ideas. You talk about new pattern ideas. Do you guys have a way you could collaborate and do an event together? That's a really fantastic way to do that. And it could just be one or two people, you know, it could just be you and one other person, or you and 2 or 3 other people that could have a Zoom call. But that was one of the things that she mentioned. And again, this is, what is her name? Courtney Whitehead, and she's Creations by Courtney here on Instagram. Someone said Rhinebeck, and I've heard of Rhinebeck. That's on my list. Who is that? K Doria 1. Yes. And Green Tea Ninja, I want to go to a fiber festival. Me too. We're going to make it happen. One of these days it's going to happen. The benefits of relationships. You will enjoy what you do even more and more often, and it helps you avoid burnout. And it really does. Just like collaborating with other people, taking time away from this hyper focusing on your own business and your own products, and getting to brainstorm with other people and collaborate with other people and talk to other people about crochet and about patterns and about projects and not feel stuck in what you're doing, can really help you feel refreshed and inspired and empowered creatively in a new way. So it's very, very important. Less comparison and more collaboration. Yes. And loyal and excited customers, because our mental health and positivity shows through. And that's true. Again, if you're starting to feel burned out, most likely it's going to show when you're talking to your customers, when you're talking to your followers. You're going to look tired. I know it happened to me during our move. When we were in the middle of our move, I would get on my lives and I literally had, I think Ellen, it might have been you, I know you're still on here, who just said, you look tired. And it's true. If you're feeling burnout, it's time to step away, try something else, reconnect with the people that you've got relationships with, refocus on community, refocus on the people that you want to just spend time talking to, and it's going to help you get yourself back on track to feeling motivated again. Okay, let's see. It's going to increase opportunities for collaboration. Okay, we talked about that. So the more you talk to people, the more opportunities can arise and ideas can come about where, you know, you might say, I never even thought of that. Let's do that. Okay, and then I did listen to her live Q&A on Facebook and got a few more great little tidbits. How to balance relationships without feeling drained. So, you know, having relationships with people is tough, especially if it's multiple people. I know for me, like even just having, you know, my husband is my best friend, and, you know, marriage is work, you know, I mean, you have to stay on the same page and communicate. And so if you have a marriage and then you have a couple of best friends that you're trying to maintain relationships with and be there for emotionally, it can be a lot. So one of the biggest things that she talked about was setting boundaries. So you set boundaries for yourself. It's okay to set time limits when you're spending time with people. It's okay to plan accordingly and say no to certain events if it's just too overwhelming for you or too much in that moment. And saying yes to different events or offering a different option. So no, I don't really feel like going to this event, but can we just go grab some coffee? You know, that may be a better option for you. But knowing that you have options, you have choices, and you are allowed to set those boundaries for yourself and connect with people in ways that work for you. I know a lot of people ask this question of how to reach out to people to make friends online. I know for me, sometimes it can make it easier if you start by commenting on their stuff. So if you've been following someone on Instagram for a while, you feel like you guys would really get along and be friends, then you could start by commenting on their posts and asking questions and seeing how they respond. If they're responsive and you enjoy having many conversations with them on their posts, and maybe they're responding back, they followed you, they're commenting on your posts, maybe then you'll feel comfortable reaching out and sending them a message and say, hey, I loved what you were doing there, you know, could we chat about this, or could we connect some other way? I feel like we would get along and be friends. The worst thing that can happen is they say no, and I think this was really important. I think she brought it up. No doesn't have to be devastating unless we make it that way in our head. That was very powerful, because it's true. The worst thing that the people can say when you reach out is either ignore you or say no. And it's not that bad unless we make it bad. You know, if we take it personally, you never know what they're going through. They may just not feel mentally able to take that on right now. You know, I mean, just like us, most of us can only have so many friends before we say, I just can't manage this many strong relationships at a time. And you kind of have to step back and you tend to isolate yourself. So you can't take it personally. You have to know that it's, in most cases, you know, it's not as, like she said, it doesn't have to be devastating unless we make it that way. What else? Don't overthink it. Think about what it was like when you were in kindergarten, when you would just say, hey, want to play this game with me? And she said, most of us want to play the same games. There are going to be a lot of people who, when you reach out, they're going to want to interact with you and want to be friends. So, you know, it's worth taking that chance. Look for opportunities that those people put out there and take advantage and sign up. So maybe you've been following someone for a while and you feel a little too intimidated to reach out, but you can turn on post notifications if you know that this person does a lot of testing calls for their patterns, or if they have collaborative opportunities. Maybe they want to do a blog hop and you can jump on that, or maybe they want you to review something that they've done. You could say, I'm in, and that will open that door for you to start having some conversations with them and potentially create that relationship opportunity for you. We build confidence from the willingness to do it anyway, even if you're scared or unsure or new. So that goes back to just send them a message. If you really want to connect with someone and you want to make new friends, even if you're a little unsure, it's worth it to just send a message. Just let them know, like, hey, I think your stuff is awesome. I think we would be really fun fiber friends. I would love to connect. Okay, I think that's all the notes I had from that one. And this is the last one. Okay, so last one. So if you've been watching the Crochet Business Summit, let me know in the comments what your favorite takeaway was from today. I would love to know if you had a favorite class. And if you're not, then let me know if you're going to join in tomorrow, because I'm going to be speaking tomorrow. So you can watch my presentation all about my full-time journey. Having to keep an eye on this dog. I'm telling you guys, he has just been a mess today. Okay, the last class was by Alicia of Little John's Yarn. She is a YouTube sensation. Like, she knows her YouTube stuff, and that is what she was talking about. So I knew that this was an important one for me. And her class was called Monetizing YouTube Beyond Ads. So again, if you are trying to grow your YouTube channel, these are good ones for you. So the one by Tula, all about YouTube, the algorithms, and this one, these were both today. So the one by Tula was today, and the one by Alicia was today. So you should check both of those out, and they're available till tomorrow night. So if you get that free ticket, you can use the link in my bio. You can get the free ticket. You can watch them both until tomorrow for free. So some of the takeaways from Alicia's class, and things that I tried already to implement. Alicia said Pam's presentation was great. It really was. Pam's presentations are always so motivating and inspiring. You know, it really, for me, it's one of those, like, you feel like, oh, I feel empowered. That's how I feel. But I think that's, you know, she was a psychotherapist, I think, or psychologist, psychiatrist, psychotherapist. I can't remember which one. but that's that background coming out. She really knows how to connect with people and encourage people and help people grow. And I think that's why what she's doing is so important, and it's so good that she has found this calling, because I know she's helped so many people. Ayers Fiber Arts. I loved Deltra's presentation about getting your crochet into fashion shows. Yes, so that's the only one I didn't watch, because I believe she taught that one last year. And so I remember watching that last year, taking some from it. And today was rough for me to stay focused, so I ended up not watching that one because I had watched it last year. I'll probably maybe watch her Q&A in the Facebook group, because I would love to hear more from people's questions. But that's the only reason I did not watch that one. But I'm glad you enjoyed it, because I do remember it being really, really interesting watching it last year. Okay, so the main takeaways, and I think I have 2 pages from this one of notes. The first one is to make sure you always include a call to action in your YouTube videos, leading them to view your description box. I'm not always the best at remembering all the different things that I should probably say in my YouTube videos, but I have made sure that all of my descriptions have lots and lots of links to all of my stuff. It could still be better, but I'm growing. It's one of those things, again, we can't focus on perfectionism, because if I was focused on perfectionism, I would not have a YouTube channel right now. I can promise you that. So putting yourself out there, going ahead and doing it. You know, I had to go back through. At one point, I had awful description box information. I had no way to get in touch with me. I didn't have links to any of my information, like my Etsy shop, my YouTube, my Instagram, my website. None of that was in there. And I had to take a day and go back through and add all of my links to every single one of my YouTube videos that I'd ever uploaded, because I wasn't doing it beforehand. But it doesn't mean that I'm still glad that I started when I started, because I got it done. And that's better than trying to be perfect, because that's not going to happen. She talked about what she called the pattern trifecta. So this is video tutorials, free patterns on your blog, and paid patterns on Etsy. So this is kind of her way of using YouTube beyond the ads that you can, because again, my YouTube is not at the point where it can be monetized. I do not have enough watch hours. So some of this information, it's great to say, okay, we're not just focused on ways that you can monetize, because I can't do that yet. And what she says to do is make your tutorials on how to do your pattern, so people can actually follow along in the video and create your patterns. I have a few of these on my YouTube channel. I think I've got a headband, a pair of fingerless gloves, a bucket hat. There's a couple of patterns that are free on my YouTube channel that's a full tutorial. And then she says to add that video and a basic pattern to your blog. So you don't have to go in and have all of the picture tutorials, because you've got the YouTube video. Just have the instructions on your blog. If your blog is monetized, which mine is, that was the first thing I ever got to monetize, was my blog. I think in the entire time that it's ever been monetized, I've only made like $30. So that's just being real here. I am not one of those people that makes a good, solid passive income using ads yet, but I'm learning, and that's how you have to start somewhere. So I'm learning, and I'm starting ground floor. We'll see if I can. And I think if you watch a lot of the videos during the Crochet Business Summit, they do talk about how Google AdSense, which is what I'm using. Hey Casey, I'm glad you're here. I use Google AdSense, and everyone that I've watched, tutorials on monetizing your blog says not to use Google AdSense, because you don't make very much money. But I don't qualify for these larger ad agencies, whatever it is that they are. I looked, they want you to have like 100,000 page views or 10,000 page views in a month, and I think I have like 2,000 page views in a month. So you have to start somewhere, and that's why I said, even though people say not to use Google AdSense, that's what I qualify for right now. So I'm going to use it, and hey, $30, almost buys me a tank of gas these days. So it's something. Okay, so once you make your tutorial, put your pattern on your blog, because that will help you get page views to your blog. And then you want to write at the very top that you have the ad-free full photo tutorial PDF in your Etsy shop. So that's your trifecta. You've got your free YouTube video your free pattern on your blog, and then your paid pattern in your Etsy shop. And I will say, for me, having a free pattern available on my blog has not taken away my opportunity for sales. There are a lot of people who want that printable PDF. They see your free patterns on YouTube and say, these are really well done patterns. I want to buy more of her patterns. And you know, I think I have 5 or 6 free pattern tutorials on my YouTube channel, but I have 45 patterns in my Etsy shop. So it's building that trust with people of like, I am an established designer. I'm someone who takes pride and takes time in putting these patterns together. They're clear, they're easy to read, even on my blog. So go check out some more of my patterns that you can actually pay for. So there's a lot of opportunities there, even though you're offering free stuff. Like, for instance, the first time, I think it was the first time that I got a pattern into Happily Hooked magazine. It was my Tonks hoodie. And as soon as that magazine was released, I got a wave of Etsy purchases for that PDF pattern. So even though people had access to the free pattern from Happily Hooked magazine, they wanted my PDF. Riddle me that. So it's true, there are opportunities, and this way, not only will you still make money off of the pattern in your Etsy shop, now you have the opportunity to get ad revenue from page views on your blog. So that's where that kind of win-win situation. And if your YouTube is monetizable, then you're getting views and monetization from the free pattern blog or free pattern video views. So win-win-win, as Michael Scott would say. Okay, let's see. Quit licking yourself. I can hear him licking. This dog is just making me crazy during this live. Okay, so, and now we've got the gnats coming in. Let's see. Okay, so the other way to make money on YouTube outside of ads is affiliate marketing. So I have an entire video on my YouTube channel dedicated to affiliate and influencer marketing. So if you want to check that out, you can. Ways to like start becoming an affiliate or an influencer for large brands. You can watch that whole video because she does not go into this too much of how to start. She did mention a few websites: Amazon Associates, Share a Sale, and CG Affiliates are 3 websites that she mentioned where you can sign up, and it's kind of a marketplace. At least Share a Sale, like Furls, does their affiliate marketing through Share a Sale. So you sign up for a Share a Sale account, and then you search for brands, and you sign up individually for each one. So Lion Brand Yarn, Furls, Annie's Craft Catalog, like all of those work through Share a Sale. But then you can, like, who else? Lovecrafts has an affiliate program, so you can search for each one, and then you just want to make sure that when you're creating your YouTube videos, that if you're using a certain brand yarn, if you're using a certain brand hook, and you have the affiliate codes for people to purchase them, to make sure you use those affiliate codes in your description box. Let's see. Make sure you're engaged with your audience. So if you decide to go live, make sure that you're focusing on topics that your audience is interested in, but make sure that you ask them questions and engage if they're actually commenting and talking to you. Having audiences who are willing to engage is something that, like, a lot of people really wish that they could have. So if you do, engage with them, talk to them, because you can figure out new things to share and new topics for YouTube videos. Because I think for me, that's one of the hardest things, is figuring out, what am I going to talk about next? What am I going to talk about that I haven't already talked about? And getting feedback from people who follow me on YouTube is one of the easiest ways to do that, because they're like, well, I would like to know your opinion about this, you know, and then it's like, okay, well, that's a whole nother YouTube video for next week. So that is super, super helpful. Another thing you can do is giveaways. I haven't done giveaways on YouTube, but I have seen a lot of people do that. She did talk about super chats and YouTube memberships, but as far as I can tell, that comes with being able to monetize your YouTube. So I don't get to do any of that yet. One day. And then she talked about sponsorships. Casey Carroll Art, that's one of my struggles to starting, because I don't know what to talk about. Yes. And I also missed a comment from Queen Alexandra Crochet. Your English is easy to understand. I am from Brazil. I'm so glad that you feel like my English is easy to understand, and thanks for joining in and being here today. So Casey, yes. If I were to go back to my oldest live streams, it was all over the place. I really didn't have any topics. I just wanted to make myself go live. So usually I would just have a project that I was working on. I would talk about that project. I would talk about things I was excited about. If I had gone to the craft store, I would share a new yarn. I would talk about things coming up. If I had pattern ideas, like it was just what was happening. And then I didn't make myself have a time limit. I would just talk until I kind of ran out of things to talk about. And then I would say, I'll see you guys next week. But I set up a certain time and I went live every week. Sometimes I would ask if people wanted to join me on the live. So if there was someone in the chat, in the comments who wanted to hop on, that's an option. And you can look at what other people on YouTube, if you want to go live on Instagram, go search YouTube for like crochet topics that other people have talked about and give your ideas on it. You know, so like I've talked about everything from size inclusivity, pattern writing, how to be a good pattern tester, how to become a pattern tester, did I say how to write crochet patterns, how to market yourself, how to be an affiliate, how to save money on yarn, like all of these random things, but it was enough of a focus for me to, you know, stay focused and talk for a certain amount of time. Alicia, lots of good info. Thanks for sharing your notes and thoughts. Gotta go. See you tomorrow. Yes, I'll see you tomorrow. And I'm almost done. This is the last page. So sponsorships, you can apply for sponsorships. Again, if you want to watch my video on affiliates and influencers, very similar. She even talks about how to create a media kit. So if you're reaching out to a brand to get sponsored, there is, if you haven't used Canva before, Canva is an online design software that you can use for free. And they actually have templates for creating a media kit. But she goes into that a lot, so go watch her video if you're interested in making a media kit. She also shared a sample letter, a layout of a letter to send to businesses if you want to reach out and ask about sponsorship or influencer opportunities. So that's another thing that you can watch. You could screenshot and see all of the different parts of the letter. So that was really, really cool. The breakdown was having an intro, sharing a relatable story, like how you're connected with that company or the product, the relationship that you'd want to have with them, what you're actually looking to do, whether that's reviewing their products or creating a pattern using their yarn or whatever it is that you're wanting to do with their products. And then proof of what you've already done. So you can talk about if you've done sponsorship opportunities before and how you've worked with them and what has worked, that kind of stuff. But she really breaks that down really well. Casey, which presentation are you referring to? It doesn't sound like I've watched it yet. This was Alicia of Little John's Yarn. She was talking about monetizing YouTube beyond ads. So it's a really good one if you're looking to start a YouTube channel. Because she has a really good YouTube channel. So she has a very established YouTube channel. So definitely go check that out. She does a lot of tutorials and things. I feel like I've been on here a long time. It doesn't say, I don't know when I started. But those are all of my notes. Like I said, I did not watch the last one. But check out the Crochet Business Summit if you haven't. It's great information. I mean, I am going to have to go back through. I love taking notes. I do my handwritten notes in my little binder. I mean, my little notebook. And I really need to go through and like highlight the main things and start making goals for actual actionable things that I need to do. I know for YouTube, I was looking at one of the things that I want to do after watching Alicia's presentation was I really want to do a series on how to write better crochet patterns. It's one of those things that we talk about free versus paid content. I have a pattern writer's handbook. It's 40 pages that I've created all about how to write successful crochet patterns from the very beginning all the way through to marketing your patterns more successfully. And it's $15. And I used to do classes on it. So I would actually sign up and I would do like a 3-hour workshop and I would walk through the workbook and give additional advice. And the classes kind of fizzled out after a while, and it got to a point where I wasn't enjoying it as much. But I've realized, you know, if I went through and just broke the workbook down and gave some of that information on video, even if I do it as a live where people could ask questions, then I could link in the description of those mini series videos to the full workbook. And it creates that what we all want, which is that know, like, and trust. So people will see, I do know what I'm talking about. It is helpful information. Here's a few different pieces of what you would find in the workbook, and now you can go buy that workbook if you really do feel like the information I'm giving you is helpful. So that's one of my actionable steps that I'm going to take. Last year, my goal was to create a playlist on how to crochet so that I could sell Learn to Crochet kits, and I was able to reach that goal. So I think this year my goal is going to be how to write crochet patterns, that playlist, and then that will link out to my Crochet Pattern Writer's Handbook. So I think that is one of my big actionable goals for this year. So we'll see if I can make that happen. And I think that was one of the main goals. I was going back through Pam's presentation. It's kind of something that I'm always working on, making sure that when I start to kind of get down and compare myself to other people, that I refocus on what matters, which is my relationships to people who have been following me for a long time, who are very loyal followers, and spend more time connecting with them and collaborating with other people when I start to feel a little burnout or tired, you know. Let's see. YouTube, obviously, I just need to keep working on it. I just need to keep posting. You know, I don't think I'm particularly doing anything wrong. It's just staying consistent, trying to get those watch hours up. We'll get there. And then giving back, for me, that was the first class, the Paying It Forward with Tamara Kelly from Moogly. I'm always trying to collaborate more and give back to the community, so that will not change for me. It just reminded me that needs to remain important. And same thing with the Creations by Courtney with her presentation, making sure that you focus on the in-person relationships too, and make sure that you don't get burnt out on your business because you're getting isolated, you know, and you're working too much. Okay, so I had a couple. Marge Wong says, great idea. Thank you. It should be good. I hope it works out. Green Tea Ninja, I showed my pink sheep design hook during a breakout session and someone recognized it as one of your designs. Oh, that's so awesome. Thanks. That's exciting. Brand recognition. That's a goal. Well, and that's why now when I sell things, it's got our hook on it. So I always use our hook shape since it's signature. That's so cool. Thank you. Sindra was not able to watch any today. Gonna have to watch the replays. That happens. I didn't know if I was gonna get through them all today. I have to say, committing to doing these lives, these recaps, has helped me stay focused and say, no, I'm doing a recap. I need to stay focused. I need to watch these videos. So it's you guys. You guys are keeping me on track, keeping me accountable. All of you are my accountability buddies. Casey, that's a great idea. Sindra, I have your workbook. An interactive class with you would be cool. And I think that's why I started focusing more on the mentor sessions. So it's one-on-one. So if someone really wants to talk to me about pattern writing, they can meet with me for a full hour. I think I do up to like an hour and a half for the base price. And we cover any and all questions that you have. I can walk you through Canva. I can walk you through structuring the pattern, grading the pattern, working with testers. Like, I can go through the specific things that you want to talk about. Instead of trying to do a class with 6 or 7 people and, you know, meet everybody's needs. Queen Alexandra Crochet, I always work with sense of community just like you. And it's so important. And you're going to get more out of that a lot of times even than other people might. Because it's a feel good. It's a feel good thing. It makes you feel like you have a purpose outside of just making money. And you feel like you're a part of a greater community. Crochet by Ava, this was so helpful. Thank you so much. I'm so glad. I hope you're going to the summit. It's, you know, this is just my take on it. You know, you might get something even more meaningful out of it for your business. Cinder was flying during the summit today. Oh, that makes sense then. Yep. Okay, guys, I have been on here more than long enough. I will be back tomorrow afternoon. I don't have a specific time because I'm not sure when I'll get done. Tomorrow, I actually have a chiropractor appointment, so that's probably going to push me a little bit later. But I will come on live tomorrow afternoon, probably somewhere between 4 and 6, to go live and chat about my takeaways, have my notes. Like I said, there's 3 more days left of the summit. There's lots more information. Today's videos are available till tomorrow, so you have time still to grab your free pass if you want to. The link is in my bio here on Instagram, or if you're watching the replay on YouTube, it's in the description box below, so you can check that out. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye. Happy hooking.